and welcome to the next video in the section of NumPy. In this video, we'll understand about array iterating. So let us start. Iterating arrays. First of all, let us understand basically what iterating in Python means. So basically, we try to use a loop and go through all the elements present inside that array. So iterating means going through elements one by one inside that array. As we deal with multi-dimensional arrays in NumPy, we can do this using a basic for loop that we use in Python. So this is very clear. For iterating the arrays, we are going to use a basic for loop. Now, if we iterate on a 1D array, it will go through each element one by one. So let's see this with the help of a practical code example. So here I have a sample code. I have made one array arr np.array and it is a 1D array that contains 3 elements 1, 2, 3. Now it's a simple Python for loop, nothing advanced. We are just working on a array using that for loop. So for x, that is the element or the elements that are present in the array. For x in arr, print x. So basically this will print all the elements present inside that 1D array. Now let's talk about iterating on 2D arrays. So again I have one array and this time it's a 2D array. As you can see here I have two dimensions. The first one contains 1, 2, 3 and the second one has 4, 5, 6. Now for this particular code example, the syntax of the code remains exactly the same for x in arr and print x. So it will print both the dimensions of the array. Now this will be very clear to you when we move next to the practical section. As of now, just understand this code. Now the difference between iterate on each scalar element of a 2D array and iterating 2D arrays. So let's move to the next slide and I'll understand. So here if you look very carefully, I have again a 2D array. Now this time what I'm doing, my goal is to iterate over each individual scalar element that is present inside this array, not like the every dimension of a 2D array. So this is a different thing and this is a different iteration. So let's understand this. Iterate on each scalar element of a 2D array. So for x in arr, now for y in x. So x basically, by using the first for loop statement for x in arr, this gives you both the dimensions stored in x. Now again what you are doing for y in x, so basically for y in each dimension of this entire 2D array. So the dimensions of the 2D array are already stored in the x with the help of this first statement. Now again we are using a nested for loop and writing one more for statement. So for y in x, now again we have the access to the each individual scalar element present inside that particular dimension. And now finally we're printing y. So I hope this is very clear to you. Now let's move to the practical section and try to implement what we have learned over here. So let us start with the practical implementation of what we saw in the presentation. So first of all, let me import numpy as np. Now what I will do, I'll make one array arr. First of all, I'll show you how to iterate over a 1D array. So np dot array, and this will contain 3 elements 1, 2, 3. So this is our array arr. Now what I'll do, for I in arr, and then I'll print I. So what this will do, this will print all the elements of the array arr that we have made. Let me show you one more time. Let me add 4 and 5, 2 different elements, and now this time it will show all 5 elements present inside this arr. So this is just a simple for loop implementation of Python. In Python we usually work with for loops to iterate over a list or a string or other data structures that we have in Python, but here we are simply using that for loop to work with the NumPy array. Now the example that we saw here was for a single dimensional 1D array. We can also take this to the next level and have a look on a 2D array. So arr2 and np dot array, and this time what I'm going to do, I'm going to make a 2D array 1, 2, 3, and here I will have 4, 5, 6. So this is a 2D array. I'll try to iterate over this. Okay, so let's take a new variable for j in arr2, and if I try to print j, so this j is giving me basically the 2 dimensions that I have for this array. Now By using this syntax, what I did basically, I iterated over the dimensions that are present inside this 2D array. Now if I want to iterate over each scalar element, each individual scalar element like 1, 2, 3 and so on that is present inside this 2D array, so I have to use a nested for loop. So basically what I can do, for j in ARR2, for b in j, and then I'm going to print b. So what this will do, this will give me the output as I got over here. So now I'm basically able to access each and every individual scalar element that is present inside this array. So let me explain what is going on over here in the syntax. So with the help of this first for statement, we are storing both the dimensions inside j, both the dimensions of ARR2 inside j. Now again we are using a nested for loop. This time I'm using for b in j, I'm making a new variable and I'm iterating over this j. Now after this, after the execution of this statement, this j contains both the dimensions of this array, and each dimensions contains its original scalar values that were present over there. Now if I iterate over j, I'm simply getting all the scalar values that were present inside this entire 2D array. I hope you are very clear with this concept now. Let's move to the next video. Thank you.